Can you explain why then reliving an experience is healing? Why is this producing healing?
That's actually an interesting question. Many people are asking why, reliving particularly a traumatic experience would be healing and not re-traumatization.
Exactly.
Yeah. So there are some important reasons for that. One reason is that if you create this non-ordinary state of consciousness, that it causes regression, age regression. You would psychologically become younger and younger. You can experience yourself like as an infant or a child, or even a newborn or a fetus who experienced that original situation. But at the same time, you also remain the adult who now has a whole other level of tolerance and stamina and also understanding. So now you can deal with material that you couldn't cope with when you were very, very immature. So that's a fascinating aspect of that state, that you are really there in two different roles. The one who is doing the session, and then becoming also the protagonist in those original situations. There's another reason for it that was described in a paper by Ivor Brown, who's an Irish psychotherapist, and the paper is called The Unexperienced Experience. And he pointed out that when we are actually experiencing particularly very traumatic experiences like physical abuse or sexual abuse and so on, that we really don't experience it fully, that there's like a split in consciousness. The consciousness sort of goes out of the body.
You mean at the moment of the original trauma?
The original trauma.
I see.
That it's sort of recorded somehow in the body, but it's not really fully dealt with. You know, like some extremely traumatic emotional experiences, people can actually faint. They lose consciousness. And it's conceivable that in some very traumatic, but not as extremely traumatic experiences, that you somehow kind of faint partially. You're not all in that experience. So it's not only reliving of what happened, but it's actually full reliving of the situation that happened, because the circumstances simply were not such where you could really fully deal with it and integrate that experience. So like undigested or unintegrated experiences.
So the person might have
psyche.
been like projecting him or herself by somehow disconnecting or fainting, and this will be like the first time you're fully experiencing this everything.
Well, we see this in near-death experiences, like somebody has a major trauma, like a car accident, and they have broken legs or arms, and their consciousness goes out of the body, and they might even have a beautiful, transcendental experience while their body is suffering, and the pain is recorded in the body. So we see in the breathwork, for example, people reliving not just physical trauma, not just emotional traumas, but also physical traumas, where there is still unprocessed, significant part of something that happened to their body, because they simply did not deal with it emotionally at the time when it was happening.
Therefore, it would be healing for them to for the first time, connect with the experience fully. Yeah,
let's say it was a physical trauma. They, of course, healed anatomically, but emotionally it's still not finished. It's what Fritz Perls called unfinished Gestalt.
So reliving it would somehow let go of the energy that's in it, in the body, in the system. Would that?
Yeah, the material which is in your unconscious can have very powerful influence on you, in spite of the fact that it's technically unconscious. It's not something that you're aware of, but it still can function as a kind of a prism that distorts somehow your experience of yourself and of the world, because it's influencing you from the unconscious. And if you can sort of allow it to emerge fully and to express the emotions and also the trapped physical energies, then you free yourself from that. It doesn't exist as a noxious kind of influence in your unconscious. Yeah.